Okay, and we are live. Hi Pooja, hi Rosie. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining. Just waiting for our guest and a couple more people to join. Hi Good Books, hi Jaydev, hi Arslan. Thank you for joining. So while we are waiting, let me introduce myself. My name is Manav. I represent the Booker's Diary, and today we are going to have a live interview with Praveen Kumar, the author of An Incredible Indian Rescue. It's a great book, and let's waiting to meet the author. So I think it's online now. Let's. So yeah, I think he's up.
Hi.
Hi Praveen, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Can you see me?
Uh, yeah, I
Okay.
think just need to adjust your camera a little bit.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that.
So where are you joining us from, Praveen?
I'm from Chennai.
Chennai?
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, that's great, man. That's great. That's great. Just
Yep.
one moment, huh? Let me put my cell phone in a place where it doesn't fall off. Yeah.
Yep.
It becomes difficult. Oh, this is the first time I'm doing this, so forgive me if I'm doing something wrong. Huh? It's all a
No
learning
problem.
experience.
No
Great to see you,
problem at all.
Manav. Great to see you. Great to see you. First
Great
of
to
all,
see you
thank
too,
you so
Praveen.
much. Thank you so much for inviting me for this Insta conversation.
Thanks a
Thank
lot
you.
for giving us a chance to have you on the
Yeah.
show.
So I hope you liked the book. Did you like the book?
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It was what I liked is it's a short book. It's a good read.
Okay.
The story is nice. Especially I don't know if I should be giving any spoilers here, but
Go ahead. Go ahead. No problem. Yeah.
I loved the idea when you introduced those twins
Okay.
in the
Okay.
story.
So the
Yeah,
so that's the climax part, no? Yeah, everybody
yeah,
liked it. Everybody liked it. Thank you so much. Thank you. See, the idea for writing a small book is very simple. I mean, see, writing has become a dying medium. Okay,
right.
people are not writing any time, and the readership, the guys who sort of read. We used to have library classes in our school times.
Correct.
That library class, I don't think if it exists. Maths teacher usually gets that library class, and
True.
say they go ahead and do the what do you call? They sort of take that period and they go on and take their maths class or physics class. Or,
Yeah.
I want these guys from 8th standard, 9th standard, or 10th standard, 11th
Mm,
standard to sit for just 1 hour and read. I
yeah.
mean, if my book is allowing them to sit for 1 hour and read it, I think that is done. Inculcating the habit of reading for these youngsters was the idea. So for me to make them sit for 1 hour, I think that was a good part. So I thought, okay, let us write a small book. So I am getting very good responses from those people. I mean, the school-going kids. They get
Right.
fascinated. They were really fascinated. I just saw one kid from my school.
Mm.
So from my school when I studied in Navy Valley. So he was
Uh-huh.
very happy. He said he was fascinated. He said, I want to join the forces. I read your book. It was very good. My father suggested
Oh
me. I
wow.
said, okay. Yeah. So that is one thing which you aspire for, no, as a writer.
Right.
So you do
Yeah.
something. Yeah, do something. and then people get inspired by it and they want to join the force. I think I was very happy.
When you're actually making a difference through your writing, I think that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Mano. Thank you, thank you. I hope I'll do that in the future also.
Yeah,
You know,
looking forward to it.
it's all about people connecting. So the moment they connect with the book, then it becomes very easy.
True.
So as an author, we have to facilitate people to get connected with the story. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is where that is the best part I like. The language was simple and simple enough for everybody to, understand what you're trying to put forward. And that is, I think that is what made them connect to the story as well.
See, that's a valid point which you made. See, for that I should thank Chetan Bhagat. Okay. So yeah. There's no denying that I am an author today. I have read, see, you can see a lot of books on the background. I have read so many
Right.
books in life, but I started with Chetan Bhagat. I started with 5 Point Someone. So
Oh,
there's no shame in accepting it. He had not only made me an author, he has not me only to write or read, but he has made a lot of people, millions and millions of people to write and read. So somewhere, his was my first book. I think I read 5 Point Someone in the year 2008. I mean, it's 12 years now, and I
yeah.
have read personally over 600 books. So somewhere he had inculcated the thought process. I mean, we can write stories about a normal person, and people can still read about that normal person. So that
Correct.
confidence I somehow got from Chetan. So I should thank Chetan, and I have no shame in accepting that I am an author today only because of Chetan. This absolutely. And even I have acknowledged Chetan. I'm sure you would have read the book.
Yes, I did.
So in the acknowledgement, I have acknowledged Chetan that I thanked him because I've told him that, whatever this is, whatever I am today and whatever I'll be tomorrow or day after, it's only because of Chetan. It's no taking
I
away.
I agree. At some level, if you see, the reading culture in India has grown a little bit, and the books that started with the reading and the writing culture that started in India was by Chetan Bhagat. So yeah, there's no denying that fact.
See, you remember when he came in, when he wrote his first book, he was abused. And when people were calling him, he was writing fast food literature. People were
Yeah.
mocking his style. But, that
Yes.
style, that style was so gripping and it was so easy for people like us. So he had made a huge change, man. I mean, he had done a lot of good things with his book. And
Correct.
one good thing is
Definitely.
that I have become an author. So definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a positive over there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So before we begin further, like most of our audience don't really know who you are, don't know much about you. So it would be great if you could, just give a introduction about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, so my name is Praveen Kumar. Okay, so I come from this very small town in Tamil Nadu. It's named Neyveli. Okay, so Neyveli is the place where we generate electricity. So we get lignite there.
Oh,
Yeah, we get lignite. So it is also known as Power Town. So my father works there. Okay, so I sort of did my schooling in two places. One in Neyveli, and my 11th and 12th I did in Nellore. So I went to Andhra Pradesh to do it.
okay.
Okay, so then my college I came to IIT, so that's in Chennai. So I did my course BTech in civil engineering, so that is in Chennai. And my first job was in Bangalore. So I had a brief stint in Bangalore for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Then again I came back to Chennai. So then it's all Chennai for me. So
Oh,
I'm in Chennai for I think 13, 14 years now.
oh, wow.
So yeah. So I stay in Chennai. I have a flat in Chennai, so I stay in Chennai. And I'm married to a beautiful girl. She's a doctor. So her name is Sandhya. And I have a kid. I have a daughter, a beautiful angel. So she's turning 3 this September.
Oh, wow.
That's all. Yeah. So that's my family. So my father and mother, they stay in Neyveli. I have a brother who's doing really well. He's working for a bank, and I work for an NBFC. So we have our professional lives there, and writing has become my passion. See, writing, I started writing when I was in my college again. 2008, I started writing.
Uh,
2009, yeah. So I did some writing for 2 or 3 pages. Then people said it's good, so we made it into a short film, and people liked it. So we got a special
oh,
mention award. Yeah. So it was somewhere, I felt happy. Whatever we write, it is engaging audience, and people were taking it as a movie. We had a short film made and stuff. So yeah. So I think I've given my background. No, is it okay? Or do you have any
yeah.
questions on the background?
No, I'm all good about it. I just wanted people to know about
Yeah.
more about
I'm
you.
a simple person. When in Chetan's language, if you say I'm a normal person, I mean, just like anybody, just like anybody else, I'm just a normal
Right,
person. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But it's great. So you've your stories have converted into short movies, and I this book is also like I can totally see it turning into a Bollywood movie someday. So
Thank you. Thank you. See, Manav, I'll tell you a fact, okay?
uh-huh.
This is what I think, okay? Anybody who's writing, okay, he will visualize his characters. Say for
Hmm.
example, this book had Mani Bharati as my protagonist. So I say Mani
Correct.
Bharati is 6 feet tall, he has six-pack abs, he has a good crop, he has blue eyes, and he's dark complexioned. And when a writer is visualizing a lot of things when he is writing,
Correct.
obviously he'll be happy when his book is selected for a movie. He wants to
Definitely.
see it in a big screen. Obviously, yes,
Right.
he has visualized so much. He has done a lot of homework, and he has visualized so much, and it is gradually the next step for this. We'll be always happy. We'll be obviously happy if our book
True.
gets picked to be made into a movie. If someone
Yeah.
says no, I do not want it to be made as a movie, I think then he's lying. That is never the case. Yeah, people. I
True.
want my I want this to be picked by some of the producers, some of the directors who to be
Hmm.
made into a movie. So there's no lying there, and I'm really fascinated. And thank you. Let's hope in future this book gets made into a movie. I'll be the
Yeah.
happiest person.
I hope so too. I would like to see, Mani Bharti on the main screen.
Yeah. See, speaking about Mani Bharati is my classmate. I'll tell you this.
Is
Nobody
it?
knew this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Mani Bharati is my classmate. Okay, Mani Bharati is not only my classmate. See, there in school times we used to see a few people who will be good at both. Okay, they used to do a lot of mischievous things and still they do well in their studies as well,
Right.
right? So
Right.
Mani Bharati is one such candidate. Okay, so he
Oh,
used to do whatever mischievous thing you name it, he used to do it, but the principal or the class teachers cannot blame him because he always used to come first in his class. Yeah, first in his class. Okay,
oh,
and on top of that, he cracked Anna University. Anna University is considered the best university
yeah,
in Tamil Nadu, the number one
definitely.
university, and he cracked a
Yeah,
computer science seat. Okay, and he was
not
so
bad.
close. I think he also cracked an IIT seat in naval department. So he rather said,
Uh,
I'll choose computer science than a naval, and he went and chose Anna University. But now he had chosen a very non-linear job. Now he's an assistant commandant in CISF.
oh,
You
wow.
understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that is where I took the thread from. See, there are a lot. See, there were like 500 people from my batch. Okay,
Mm.
back then in 2005, 2006, 500 students from my batch,
Mm.
and everybody they choose either engineering or they choose medicine. Some chose CA and stuff. Okay, it's all
Correct.
normal and routine, right? And this guy being so good in his studies, he's better than me. He's better than a lot of people in my college. He's better than a lot of people in my class. Okay, had he
Mm.
had chosen a software job or he had chosen a banking job, which I did, had he had chosen a CA, whatever job he has done, if at all he had chosen, he would have been placed. I mean, there's no denying that he would have been in Google by now or Facebook by
Mm.
now because his background is from CS background, right?
Correct. Correct.
But he pushed all those cushy jobs and he went and he chose an assistant commandant job in CISF. I thought, we always look for heroes around us, correct? So you decide to pen a book and whom do you want to write about, whether a
Right.
person often people make this mistake. They look for heroes somewhere outside in some other state or some other country. The heroes often they would be, near us. And I sort of
Right.
found this guy to be a hero because it's as simple as that. Because he had a good life. I mean, of course, he's having a beautiful life now. He's all settled. He's in Delhi now. He has a good wife and he's a good kid and stuff. But he had inculcated this thing in my mind that we can choose an alternative path and we can still be successful.
Correct.
And the alternative path which is chosen is to serve the country. I mean, what better job one could choose, right? So I thought, okay. When I started writing, I said, okay, there is my hero. I want to write a book on him.
Right.
It's as simple as that. So
I
since
think
you
that's a
asked,
good
I'm
point.
telling you this. So Mani Bharati is a real life character. I mean, the book is a fiction. I don't deny that. But the character which I've chosen, the name of the protagonist is my
It's a
friend.
real
I'm
person.
really, I'm, I'm really proud to say that. I'm really proud that he's my friend. Yeah. Yeah.
That is so nice to hear. And I think, yeah, a lot of whenever we see actual real inspirations in our life, that is what actually makes the story relatable.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when I thought, this is a gratitude for that guy's decision and that guy's life. I mean, yes,
Mm.
He's doing very good job, man. He's doing a fantastic job there. I'm really wishing him well. And if at all there's one student or one youngster who reads this book and who says, okay, I'm gonna join the forces, I think that would make my day. I think the book would have done its job if at all one
True.
person chooses. Yeah, yeah,
I agree. So I guess a shout out to Mani Bharti is in order here
yeah,
for being an
yeah. I'm
inspiration to
sure.
the book.
Yeah, he is a busy person, so I'll give him this. I'll give your regards. I'll send you regards. Don't worry.
Great. So, at what point did you decide to write your story?
See, this story I had decided in the year 2019, December.
Hmm.
Yeah,
December.
December.
Okay.
Yeah, December. So not so far. I think I had one more story written and completed. Okay,
Hmm.
so that was a triangular love story. I mean, you have so many love stories, no? We have been
Right.
writing love stories for I think 50, 60 years. I mean, we are writing only love stories. Even I wrote the love story. It's a beautiful love story, which I thought to myself, I thought it was that's the best love story which I've ever written. Then I gave, then I gave it to my wife, and she said she didn't like it.
Uh,
And she said, no, if at all you are writing, I mean, what is there? What is the point in you also writing a love story? Correct. So she didn't like it. So then I shelved that book. Then I started writing this one. So not only my wife, I mean, a lot of people who have read the book before publishing only, I had given the script to a few people. Since it's a small book, I mean, people
mhm.
came back to me within an hour. They said, no, this is good. This is good. This is good. There are a lot of people saying, don't, I was thinking of making this book into a bigger one.
Uh-huh.
And they were telling me, no, 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 let this be this way because it has come out so really well. I have completed this book in 5 days. You won't believe this. This
Oh,
book was, yeah, just 5 days. I've completed it in 5 days. So I said, okay, well, people liked it. And I've got some feedback saying, do not increase the size of the book. They liked it, sort of. I said, okay, let's go ahead. And luckily, it's going really well, man.
hmm.
It's doing well in the markets. It's doing
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
So, how much time did it take for you to write this book?
I said, no, 5 days. It
Oh,
took me
this
5
one.
days to complete. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
it took me 5 days to complete this book. Yes. And the whole process. I mean, first draft was completed in 5 days. Okay. Then again, we used to go to editing. We used to sit and
Ah,
edit
right.
it. That is a process in itself. Then it goes to the
Definitely.
publisher. That is a process in itself. Yeah. So overall, it took 3 months. From the day I penned the book, penned the first chapter until the day it got released, it took me 3 months. It's a good
Okay.
time. 3 months is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 months is a good enough
Yeah.
time to.
Relatively fast.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Yes, true, it's
absolutely.
relatively fast.
Yeah.
So, how was your journey? I mean, how are you? Okay, first of all, how are you managing, those 5 days of writing and rewriting and 3 months and along with your work life? How are you balancing everything?
Manav, this is the fantastic question, man. This is a fantastic question which you've asked me. So I'll tell you, somewhere, I want this question to reach as many people as possible.
Mhm.
The answer, I'm sure this answer will also keep them engaged and satisfied. See, the point is, the one thing which I liked from our school is used to have this timetables. Do you remember? So
Correct.
8 to 9 is math class, and
Yeah.
9 to 10 is physics, and 10 to 11 is chemistry, and 11 to 12 so on and so on. Okay. Somewhere after school, no, we just forgot this timetable. I mean, this timetable was the only thing which kept us orderly, man. Okay.
True.
So now I go to office, but I consider that as one period. I mean, 8 to 9 is like say office. For me, 10 to 5 is office, and 10 to 6 is
Mhm.
office. And my day
Correct.
doesn't end there. My day doesn't end there. So I used to have 2 or 3 more things for one day. Say I come back home at like say 7:30. At times it becomes late also. I mean, people can give excuses. They'll say my office ends at like 10 o'clock in the night or 11 o'clock in the
Mm.
night. People used to say that. Okay. So even at times I used to come at 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock also, 10 o'clock also.
Mhm.
So for my normal day is this: I come at 6:30, 7:30. Okay, around 7:30 in the evening. Then I play with my daughter. I take her out. Or now we can't go out, but generally I take her out, or I take my wife out. But that becomes one period. So some
Uh-huh.
7:30 to 8:30. Okay.
Right.
Then from 8:30 to 9:30, I'll go cycling inside my campus. So that is my own time. And from
Right.
10:30 to 11:30, I write. You understand what I'm saying? Is people think that after school, after college, they go to job and it becomes monotonous. They think that is life. man, when you go past 40, when you go past 50, and when you go past 60, then you look back at your life, you will not have any memories.
Exactly, true.
Right? You would not have lived your life, of course. So I had this in mind very clearly. I mean, I should have time for me, I should have time for my family, and that, you don't believe, I learn music also. So I
Oh,
have
wow.
keyboard classes. Yeah, yeah. So I stuff my days so that I'll be looking forward to the next hour. I mean, I'll
True.
not make life monotonous. Maybe say Wednesday morning, I'll wake up a little early. I have a class at 5:30 in the morning. So I used to wake up early for this music class. Okay, for the 5:30, since I woke up early in the morning, I'll sleep a little early on Wednesday. I'll not prolong it. But Thursday, I
Mm.
have a 11 to 12 schedule for writing in the night.
Correct.
Okay, so but once you have a timetable in place, I mean, your life looks very rosier, man. It looks very charming and colorful. And I keep on changing the timetable also. So every 3 months that gets changed, every quarter that gets changed, because then again it becomes monotonous, no?
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
so as my daughter is growing, so I'll skip something for her and add a new thing. And since Fridays are getting monotonous for me, I'll change Fridays. This sort of things keeps me going, and I also recommend other people to do this. I mean, job is not all, man. There's a lot of other things which you could
True.
do in life.
Yes. Yes.
So this timetable is what is helping me, and I would suggest people to follow it also. Yeah, I think I've
Agreed.
answered your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, you have. And, I completely agree with you. We have 24 hours in a day. And if we, just follow a little bit of discipline in our life, I think we can do a
Absolutely.
lot, many things in the same 24 hours.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I hate people when they say I don't have time, man. That's all little rubbish. And yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of time, man. There's a lot of time. It's just that people have to, look into themselves, and they have to be true to themselves. The moment
Hmm.
they are true to themselves, automatically they can squeeze time here and there. Obviously, they can
Of
squeeze.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Completely agree with you. So, how has your journey as a writer been? This is your second book, technically speaking, and how have you evolved as a writer?
See, I have two answers for this question. Okay,
Mm.
the first thing was I was a little scared when I was penning my second book because I did not have any ideas. So I was thinking, what next? Seriously, I had this. I was
Yeah.
writing this story full stretch. I was writing because I completed it within 5 days. But I was thinking, what to do next?
Mhm.
Because that was when I understood there are a lot of stories to tell to people.
True.
See, we come from a land of stories, correct? So where do you get your material? That is the second question which I asked myself. I mean, there were times where, see, there are a lot of books on my background, no? So I used to read a lot of books. I used to take cues. Okay, let us build a story from this. Let us build a story from that. That was wrong. What I did was wrong. I was looking for stories in somebody else's book. That was wrong. I
Hmm.
mean, what I told to myself is there are a lot of stories to tell from your daily life. I mean, we come from a land of stories. But
True.
whatever I wrote, Manibharati is just one example. Whatever story which I'm going to write next is an example. These are all living beings inside us, near us. And the day you read newspapers, and if you read one newspaper one day, man, I'm seriously telling you, there are like 100 stories in there, man. One newspaper. I mean, you spend 1 hour per day in one newspaper, you can take
Yeah.
100 stories from that.
Definitely.
I'll,
Definitely.
I'll tell you a small example. I mean, this is going to be my okay. Let this be a small trailer for my next book. Okay, my next book starts like this. I mean, there would be a murder, and the cop would go and recover the body. Okay, and he goes on scouting for any evidences near that area. Okay, so he again sees a dead dog in that area. Okay, so he
Okay.
does he recommends for a postmortem for this dead person and the dead dog, and he comes out saying he would have cracked that case because they both would have died of same poisoning. You
True.
understand what I'm saying? So this is
Yes.
not somewhere. This is not my imagination. This is a story. This happened in a real life. This was in a newspaper. I mean, how many people would know this? I mean, the cop was a genius to find this out. The cop was a genius. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So as a writer, to answer your first question, I mean, how did I get evolved? I got self confidence that I could write because I could find stories daily on a daily basis. Now I have 10 stories in my hand. Now I have 10 stories. Yes, I can write 10 stories. I have got that confidence. So from
Right.
where did I get that confidence? I got that confidence from my day-to-day routine again. So I said, okay, so let us devote 1 hour for my newspaper. I mean, newspaper is giving me 100 stories per day. I mean, then I think to I tell to myself, okay, this we can write, this can be elaborated as a story, and this cannot be elaborated as a story. And it is very fascinating also because when you see a newspaper, no, obviously, I would have read a book. I would have read a book a year back, or I would have read a book 2 years back, and I could also relate to it. I mean, this Google now,
Correct.
there's this Google now. When you say the most crime story, the most biggest crime which has happened in the country. So when you read Google, will throw answers in seconds, right? So when you read 2 or 3 stories, no, obviously it would have been already made as a movie. So people are also getting materials from Google only. They are getting materials from Google. They are getting materials from their book. So I sort of understood authors nowadays. They either take their material from Google or they either take their material from newspapers. What I'm saying.
Correct.
So as an author now, I have evolved for two reasons. First reason is I've become confident. I've become self-confident that yes, we can write. And since I have gone through the process of writing, I feel a little confident in writing also. Earlier, I used to strike a lot of things. I used to cross out. I used to
Correct.
yell at myself. Now it is all not there. Now I write and it comes with a flow. So I think
It comes naturally to you now.
yeah, it comes naturally. Yes. So somewhere that confidence is also helping. The confidence that yes, I can survive tomorrow. Yes, I can survive the next year. Yes, I can survive after 5 years also. So that confidence is somewhat helping me. Yes.
True. I think this is a really point that you made. If we are observant of the world around us, we'll find tons of stories to talk about or to write about, and you will never
Very
fall short of things to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I recollect an interview from A.R. Rahman, Mr. A.R. Rahman. So A.R. Rahman, I think this interview was aired 5-6 years back. Okay, so people, I think one of the journalists asked him, I mean, have you run short of ideas? I mean, have you run short of music? Then he said, see, I've been in the industry for 20 years. This is what he told. I'm quoting it. Okay, I've been in the
Right.
industry for 20 years. Okay, again, I come on a fresh day. I sit in front of my piano. I feel I've not done anything. There are so much things. There are so much more things to do. This is what
Correct.
Rahman told. You understand what I'm saying? So he has done this for 20 years. I mean, 25 years, and he still feels
True.
fresh, and he still feels a lot of things can be done. So that is the way he is looking at his life, man. I think that is the biggest learning for us also. He has done, accomplished so much things, and still he says he has accomplished so many things, and he says no, he has a lot of things to do, and he's fresh out of ideas. A lot of ideas coming out. I think, yeah,
Correct.
somewhere even I feel confident. I feel confident as an author. Yes, I still feel confident that I'll have a story every day. Whenever I sit to write, I think I'm confident that I'll get a story. Yeah.
So, have you ever thought of writing a book of short stories?
Yes. See, it depends. Okay, this book is a short. So the book which I've written now, An Incredible Indian Rescue, which I've published, so happened to be a short story.
Correct.
But the next book which I'm writing, it already crossed 200 pages.
Oh, okay.
So you understand what I'm saying? So you cannot
Yes.
think and sit and okay, I'm going to write a short story. You cannot have that mindset and sit and write. You write what comes, what pours on you, it just comes out. And if the story ends, it ends. If the
Correct.
story goes on, it
Definitely.
goes on. So you cannot have a mindset of sitting. Maybe after you said, maybe I'll think through. If I have collection of ideas which is worth enough to put pen to paper, I think I can write 2 or 3 short stories. I can maybe release it. Yes.
Yeah, it would be nice to, a book of short stories is sometimes a very good read because you don't want to read long 800 pages stories all the time.
Very true. Very true. Very true. I'll definitely take it as a feedback. Maybe I'll sit and think through. Yeah, if at all I get 2 or 3 ideas at the same time, maybe I'll pen it. I'll see. 60 pages per book. I think we can put 3 short stories. Yes. See, we have to evolve, man. Change is a constant.
True,
It's as
true,
simple
true.
as that. You rightly said people no more sit and read 800 pages. I mean, those days were gone, man. I remember my wife. Yeah, I remember my wife telling me this. So whenever a new edition of Harry Potter comes out, and she does not bathe, she does not eat, she does not brush her teeth, she doesn't do anything. She just reads and reads and reads and reads. I mean, those sort of people have kind of become extinct now. And that is the reason
Very
that we are
true.
writing smaller books, right? Why not?
Yeah.
Definitely. I'll take it. If at all I come up with this, I'll definitely thank you. Let's
I'll
see.
definitely look forward to that book.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Thank you.
So, the next thing I wanted to know was, as a writer, what has been the hardest thing for you when you're writing a story?
Man, romance.
Is it?
Yeah. I'll tell you why. See, I'll also tell you why. Romance is one thing. A visual medium is different one because two people are emoting, correct? So when you write a romance scene, when it comes to book, luckily this Incredible Indian Rescue had just one chapter of romance. Okay, so when you write a romance scene, man, when you write a line which goes overboard, then becomes vulgar.
True,
Okay,
true.
there's a very fine line.
Yes,
And
yes.
when you're not trying to be vulgar, and when you try and add a few more words and becomes boring, people can't imagine what you're saying.
Very
Okay,
thin line.
yeah, it's a very very thin line. And hats off to those people who are writing good romances, man. I mean, there's this Durja is writing a fantastic romance things, and there's Chetan, obviously. I got my first review from my father-in-law. Okay, I'll tell you what. It's a very interesting story. So my father-in-law read the book, and the first comment he told me was the romance was, it was too heavy. Get down with this romance part and stuff. This was the first feedback which he gave me. Then
Okay.
again, I said I read the book. I did not feel that to be over the board and stuff. Okay, so but my other people read the book. They said romance is fine and stuff. But writing romance and giving that feeling that you are writing romance and giving that feel to this reader of mine, I think writing romance is very difficult. I mean,
Very
there
difficult.
I think yeah, very difficult. I mean, you should not go overboard also. I mean, we should not keep it boring also, and we should be different. I mean, writing
True.
people,
Exactly.
and we should be
Yeah.
different. Yeah, so I think yeah, somewhere writing romance for me it was difficult. I'm learning a lot of things. Yeah,
Yeah. Even I know. So I've read a few different types of romance novels, and some of them were pretty. I don't. I will not say any name, but some of them I found pretty cheesy.
yeah. See, so how did you find romance in our book?
It was good. I mean, it was well balanced, I would say. It was not too much. It was not, and the main focus was on the story. So
Correct,
I was,
correct.
I was pretty okay with it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. I'll wait for my next book. I think I have written 2-3 chapters. I mean, this book had only one chapter in romance. Maybe the next book is coming out. It has 2-3 chapters, man. Let's see. I'm hoping for a good response like this. Let's see.
All right. Okay. So now I would actually, if you could read your favorite excerpt from the book. I know it's not a very big book, but still.
Yeah. Okay. So this is my book, man. For people who don't
Yeah, for
know what
people who have
this is.
not seen it yet,
Yes.
that's the book.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the book.
A really good read.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So there's this place where so this is my personal favorite. Okay. So there's this place where Prime Minister, according to this book, okay, the Prime Minister would be in a very crunch situation. Had he lied, he would have been saved then and there. Okay.
Hmm.
But he still chooses not to lie. Had he called sick, and you have read the book, right?
Yeah.
So he would have. So the protagonist will give a chance to the Prime Minister, saying, "Sir, call in sick. We will somehow bring you out of the aircraft." Okay. So he could have said, "Yes, I'm sick." He could have stopped the plane. He could have walked out. But somewhere his ego didn't leave him, and somewhere his ethics did not
Allow that.
ask him to lie, allow that, right? So this is what I liked about it. So he summarizes the entire story. The Prime Minister asks the protagonist what is wrong. So this is how it goes. So the Prime Minister asking, what's happening? Sir, long story short, the whole Chennai incident, the blast, demolition, and the hostage situation of the minister was just a diversion. Sanjay Kulkarni, the co-pilot of Air India, was killed, and his dead body was hidden amidst the demolition rubbles. They were quiet on the demands to buy time so that his twin brother, Varun Kulkarni, could take his position in the flight. And the target was not the minister, but you, the Prime Minister of India. So the Prime Minister asks, what do you want me to do? Call in sick, sir. We'll bring you down safely. Then the Prime Minister says, no, I can't lie. मैं झूठ नहीं बोलूंगा. I have faith in my officers. You guys can save me. So no, he said and added, Dev, if the mission fails and the flight takes off, kill me. This is an order. I do not want to die in a foreign land. So this is what I liked about, I mean, the 60 pages which I wrote. I mean, somewhere we should have that ethics also,
Yeah,
right?
I
It's
remember
not
reading
about,
that.
yeah. So I sort of felt, and a lot of my readers as well, they pointed out that particular phrase and they said they liked it. Yeah, hope you liked
Yeah,
it too.
I did. So, like, this was one of the few moments where you're talking of not a corrupt politician. So, that was
Correct.
a good thing. Yeah.
Man, it's all how you see, man. It's all how you see. I see life full of light. I see
Hmm.
people full of good heart. I see people are
Yeah.
ethical. At times I feel everybody are good. I think it sort of came out when I wrote also.
Yeah.
It's the way I see life. Yeah.
That did. That definitely did come out. So, what was the first reaction of your family? Your wife, your parents. How did your daughter like
Yeah.
the book?
See, my daughter is too young to read. She's just 2.5. So she doesn't know that I've written a book as of now. So I still tell her a lot of stories in the night. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that is one place where I I teach my somewhere I get my thoughts also for the next story.
Hmm.
That is there. My father really liked the book.
Okay.
So he is always a very honest person. So he liked 9 chapters. I mean, he felt 10th chapter I could have written 1 or 2 pages more. I mean, to have a good ending and stuff.
Hmm.
But he really liked the book. He said, "You have become an author, yeah, because whatever I'm today, whatever I write, whatever I speak, it's only because of my father. So I would like to thank him also. His name is
Right.
Namashivaya Murthy. Okay, so he was the one who took the trouble to make me read and write. So he inculcated a lot of good things in me.
Hmm.
So my routine, I mean, whatever I'm today, I mean, the routine was set, whatever I'm following today, the timetables, what I'm saying, I'm just taking a leaf out of his book. So whatever he does, so whenever there is a Sunday, he asks me to read a Hindu. So I used to have a notebook, a 200-page notebook. So my assignment was to write 4 good words, for 4 new words on that day. I used to read what I can read a favorite page of mine. Obviously, I'll take the sports page and read. I'll tell him, yeah, I know all the words you can ask me. Then again, he starts asking me 1 or 2 words which I'll not know. Then
True.
he asks me,
Okay.
yeah. So then he gives me an assignment. He asks me to write. Then he asked me to refer Ren and Martin, or he asked me to refer the dictionary to get the words, get the meaning of those words. I mean, he literally whatever I'm today, whatever I do, whatever I speak, I work, I have a family. It's all because of that one man. Man, he had a vision. He had a vision of
Hmm.
shaping up my life and stuff. So if at all I become half of what my dad was to me, to my daughter, I think I've done a great job. Okay. So he read the book and he said that he really liked the book.
Okay.
Barring the last chapter, he felt I could have written 1 or 2 pages more. But apart from this, it's a very honest opinion. I mean, every dad would not say that, right? They would say, okay, my son has published a book, and they will go all gaga and stuff. Even he was
Hmm.
very happy, but he was very considerate. He said last chapter could have been a little different and stuff. My father-in-law really liked the book.
Okay.
And then again, he was saying the romance was on a little higher side. So he asked me to reduce the romance part. Barring that, he was also very. The biggest compliment which I got was from my CEO. His name is Mr. Sandeep Menon. Again, he's a fantastic person. I mean, I have had the blessings to meet, good souls, man, good souls in life.
Hmm.
I mean, my CEO read the book and he said, "Man, you have something in you. You'll become a big writer." I mean, he gave that confidence because my father read the book last. So I asked my CEO to read the book first. So he read the
Okay.
book and he said, and there was a wholehearted feedback which he had given me. He said, "You'll go places." Okay, that's what he told me. And in this time, I would also want to talk about Mr. Kalpati Suresh. Okay,
Right.
so
Right. Right.
the foreword of this book is written by
Yeah.
Kalpati Suresh. Okay, so me and Kalpati Suresh is a legend. Okay, I'll tell you, there are a lot of people who knows him and a lot of people who do not know him also. I'll tell you, Kalpati Suresh is an IIT Madras pass out. Okay,
Okay.
so now he is a business magnate. He has a lot of businesses running in other countries also, not only in our company, our country, in other countries as well. He is a business tycoon. And he has his thing for producing movies in South Indian languages. So once I completed my book, then I went back to my IIT Alumni Association's director. I'll tell you why. So I asked her, I want Kalpati Suresh to write the foreword of this book. So I was very insistent. I said he wants to
Hmm.
write, he wants to write because somewhere I felt if he says this book is good, I think that is a pat on my shoulder. I thought, okay, that is one good thing which has happened, because he's a very good person. I've met him once or twice. I've met him, but I have not got the guts to go and speak up to him. I did not speak to him, but I just saw him from a distance during my college days also. He was like a hero, man. He is still like a hero, man. Okay, so then he read the book and he gave the foreword. He gave a fantastic foreword for my book. I mean, my book has reached a lot of people, and we even ranked 26th on Amazon ranking in June, during June. It was only because of he gave the face for this book. I mean, whoever took the book, they said, okay, Kalpathy has written the foreword of the book. So Kalpathy, it's because of his words, people, initially picked up the book. I mean, I should really thank Kalpathy. And he gave wonder. See, even I thought he would give only 4 words, man. I mean, 4 lines maximum. He'll say, okay, they're good book, go buy and stuff. But he had wholeheartedly poured in really good words. I mean, fantastic words about the book. I mean, somewhere I think I should thank him. And the reason why I talked about IIT Alumni Association is, see, whatever earning I'll get out of this book, no, it will go to IIT. I'll not take even a single penny. Yeah. So this is whatever I'm today. It's only because of my institute, right? So I thought, okay, it's sort of giving back to your alma mater. So whatever I get from this book, whatever earning I get, be it 1 rupee, and for the lifetime, it is not for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. It is for lifetime. Whatever this book makes in its entire career, in its entire lifetime, even after my lifetime, it will obviously go to IIT. Yeah.
That's really good to know.
Thanks.
All right. So those of us who have recently joined, let me reintroduce. I'm from the Booker's Diary, and we have Mr. Praveen Kumar with us in conversation about his new book, An Incredible Indian Rescue. So the next thing I wanted to know, Praveen, is what advice would you actually like to give to new authors or struggling authors right now about what to do with your first debut novel?
See, it's not an advice, but somewhere you should start, man. I mean, there will be times where you will start writing it. I faced all these issues in my first book. I mean, I wrote my first book, the book which I did not release. So I wrote the book for 1 year. I mean, 1 year, more than 1 year also I wrote.
Oh.
I mean, I used to write. Then there would be some work coming in. Then I would be running out of ideas. Somewhere words would not come out. Then I'd kick myself. I said, no, I can't write. Then I'll quit. Then again, after 2 months, I'll take. All about becoming an author, becoming a successful one. Every author would have faced this at least once or twice in his life. Right?
Definitely.
But the only mantra is for you to complete the book. I mean, you have to complete it. Somehow you fight with you scribble something. I mean, you cut it out again, you write it again, you rephrase the chapters again, but make it a point that you finish the book. Right. No matter how bad it comes, no matter how crappy it is okay. It is okay. See, I told myself that. Okay, I used to write. See, one story I wrote it for like 1 year, and the next story I completed within 5 days. See, that sort of gives you that confidence. Yes, I can write a book. Yes, I can complete it. The moment you write the end, that gives you so much confidence. Believe me.
True.
So whichever author who's facing this as a trouble, I would, it is tough, man. If you're not getting ideas, it becomes difficult for you to write, and that is what I'm saying. You read, you write. At some point in time, you have to put pen to your paper and finish the job which you've started. So your idea is to finish it. The moment you finish it and you keep the book, and then you take it after 3 months and read, then you can automatically make the small minor changes which you want to do.
Correct.
Okay? And that gives you confidence. The moment you see the end, that gives you immense confidence to push over to the next. I mean,
definitely,
that is one lesson which I've taken from my own life.
Yeah, and I think I completely agree with you. So I actually have a relatable story. A while back, I wanted to put myself in a writer's shoes. I wanted to know how a writer feels. So I joined a writing club here near my place. And they gave me one topic. And they gave me a very easy topic also. They said, okay, you are inside a simulation. Write a story about that. And to be honest, it took me like 2 hours and I just had written half a page. And it was not easy. And that's when I realized, writing is like, it's like just any other muscle. The more you flex it, the better it will get.
Correct. Absolutely.
Right. So yeah, that was an experience for me as well.
So you have to finish it, man. You have to just finish it. You have to
Yeah.
try hard. It becomes, at times I cried. At times I feel frustrated with myself. At times I could not do any other work because what started off a story, and don't deviate. A
Mhm.
lot of other people, what they do is they start because it comes with the flow and they deviate from the story and they write something else. They
True,
feel the
true,
romance is really good, so they go and explore too much on the romance part, and
true.
they feel the action block is really good, and every place they want to keep an action block, correct?
Correct,
So
correct,
they
correct.
tend to deviate. So first of all, I put a storyboard and I said, okay, this is how my story will go.
Hmm.
Then I bifurcated that storyboard into chapters. So I write chapter one. These are the three main things which will happen in this chapter, not anything more than that.
Correct.
So say for example in this, so captured, I said, so I wrote the storyboard as like this. Okay, so he comes, he has rum, he watches television, he takes the dog outside for a walk, he comes back, he again sees TV and he shuts down. That's all. It's as simple as that. The second chapter, so he gets a call from his boss, he gets to the shower, then he dresses up,
Hmm.
puts his gun, goes out. So somewhere you should have this clarity of what are you going to write in that particular chapter. There's no point in writing the third chapter's point in the second chapter, the second chapter's point in the fifth chapter, and there's
Correct.
no point in deviating. The moment you start deviating from whatever you intend to write, you will never complete it because then
You'll
you
never.
can't come
Correct.
back. It is very hard. Believe me, it is very hard to strike it. I still am a old-fashioned writer. I write, then I type. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because that is a fun, right? I know I'll also evolve after a few years. I'll also evolve, but I somehow thought of writing it first because I wanted to feel because your hands would ache, man. Your hands would ache, but I'd
Oh,
still feel
yeah.
happy. Yeah. So it'll ache. I'll write with pencil, not only pen. I'll write with pencil because I find it very hard to cut down papers and
Correct.
stuff. So I'll just erase and it's much
Ah,
better that way. So the first part is you have to start, and second part, don't quit, finish it, and don't deviate. Okay, if you
don't
start
deviate.
deviating, it becomes a problem. So don't
Correct.
deviate. So if at all do not want to deviate, then you have to storyboard yourself. You have to put a storyboard. You have to exactly know what you're going to write.
Correct.
So okay, here and there it's fine, but you cannot go and miss your story and write some, entirely a different thing. Yeah. So
So
these are
maybe
the three
create
things.
like a skeletal structure of, okay,
Absolutely,
this,
absolutely,
this, this,
absolutely.
this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that is how you should do. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
No, I did it myself. I still have the storyboard. Maybe the next session I can take that and I can share
Mm-hmm.
it to people also. So
Sure.
it will have a graph. I mean, where from A the story goes to B, then C, then D. That's a high point.
Correct.
Every chapter should have a high point and low point. So that is how I structure myself. I mean, every chapter if I have a, then it makes the audience also to get hooked to the book, and it will
Mm,
become a page turner. It cannot be
correct.
a lull all the time also, no. See, the thing is, I am a good fan of romantic novels, but not necessarily my wife. Correct. So you cannot
Correct.
focus too much on romance. Then they'll feel bored and they'll say, "No, I don't want to read this."
Correct.
And my wife is a great fan of all this science fiction and stuff. I am not. So you cannot base a book based truly on science. So you have to touch all the topics.
All the
So
aspects.
yeah,
Correct.
storyboard is a good thing. Yeah, without
Yeah.
deviation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea what you said about having high points and low points. Get the
Correct.
adrenaline up and then bring it down as well.
True, true, true. So that makes the reader also interesting, no? So
Yeah.
he wants to know what happens next, what happens next, and stuff.
Correct. 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 All right. So I would actually like to open the floor for the audience to ask questions. We have a lot of people online today.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a request for to the audience. Let me know your questions. So in the meanwhile, one question I had was, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book is my first book, Five Point Someone. I loved it.
Okay.
I liked The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, Alchemist, The Alchemist.
Right.
I somehow liked that book.
Okay.
And there's this book named Strength Finders. I'm forgetting the author's name. Okay. See, every human being will have 34 strengths. Okay. Only 34.
Okay.
34 strengths. But that book it will rank your strengths and it will rank your weaknesses. It will do it yourself. You can do it yourself.
What's the name?
Okay. I'll tell you. Strength Finder. So it is Tom
Strength
Rath.
Finder.
Yeah. It's a book on leadership. It's written by Don
Okay.
Clifton.
Okay.
Okay.
Don Clifton.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, Don Clifton. Okay. So it says strengths based leadership. It's a fantastic book. I'll tell you why. Because it tells you how a leader behave, any particular leader. Say, for example, I'll tell you, see, Mahendra Singh Dhoni is also our Indian captain. He was our ex-captain, right? And Virat Kohli is also our Indian captain, is our Indian captain. So both of them want to lead our country to a victory. But the way they take things and the way they lead their team is different because those
Correct.
are two different leaders. Their mindsets are completely different. Their strengths are
Correct.
completely different. So your task is the same, but the way you do it is different. I mean,
Correct.
these things are beautifully written in that book. So, Strengths Based Leadership, it's written by Don Clifton. It's a fantastic book. I mean, everybody
Interesting.
who is in a corporate setup should read it. Because they, first of all, you should understand what is your strength. You may think, see, I thought empathy was my strength. But no, it is not. That's what I'm saying. It's not. So, it gives a clear idea of what you are, how you behave, and what you do to people.
Correct.
So
Correct.
once you know the strength yourself, only then you'll be in a position to lead a team. So I felt that's a good book.
Okay. Yeah, I think I definitely have to check this out because you gave this a very good idea to find your own strengths and
Yeah, you have
weaknesses.
to find your own strengths. Only then you can lead your team. You can see your team management is not about you doing all the things. Team management is about, see, I lack in empathy, so I should have a team member who is good at empathy. So
Yeah.
I lack in some important field, I should have a team member who fulfills that gap. There's no point in having all like-minded Praveen. So what is the point? Then your team somehow will have a look. Your team, your good job as a leader is to have a team
Correct.
with does not have any loopholes and stuff. So if
Correct.
I'm good at something, I do not want to hire a guy who's good at the same thing. I might as well hire a guy who's not good at what I'm not good at, right? He's good at and I'm not good at. You realize what I'm saying, no? So that this
Correct.
book will tell you. So for that you should know your own strengths. I mean, this book is a good book, man. Everybody should read
Definitely.
this.
Sounds
Yeah, I'll repeat the
interesting.
name. It says Strengths Based Leadership by Don Clifton.
Strength-based leadership. Okay. Let me just note that down. Okay. Give me a minute.
Yeah, please.
Strength-based leadership. Okay. I have this. Okay. So, next question I'm getting from V Pooja 31. She's saying, have you thought about writing any story around a fantasy world?
Thank you, Pooja. Thank you for asking this question. I mean, every fiction is a fantasy only. I mean, it doesn't happen for real world, right? It's all fantasy. You think, and you write. When I write a fiction, it is all fantasy only. And to answer your question precisely, in fantasy worlds, so you are asking about you are asking a book like Harry Potter and stuff. That is
Yeah.
fantasy, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. At present, I don't think I can be able to do that. No. See, I sort of decided myself that I'll write stories which is relatable. Again, I took it from Chetan Bhagat, which is relatable. The moment people will read my book, no, they should go into that world. I mean,
Okay.
they should feel their Mani Bharati. They should feel
Right.
their Charu.
True. True.
So
True.
they want to do it, they want to feel it themselves. So I don't think I'm capable enough to write two things. One is horror, which I can't, and the second thing is fantasy, which I can't. So it'll not be relatable. That will not be me. I think my wife will write a good fantasy thriller. I'll tell her. Yeah.
Great. So another question which is similar, I'm getting from Bluffmaster.tanuj. He's saying, is there any genre that you dream to write about?
Genre which I dream of.
Yeah, I mean dream to write about.
Political genre. Yeah.
Political.
Politics. Yeah. I just see there are a lot of books which has come, but it is for two reasons. I don't feel it realistic. Also, see, I'm working on a novel again. Thanks for that question, Bluffmaster.tanuj. Thanks for that question. I'm working on an idea which says, the political genre which I want to try as relatable as possible, And it cannot be too dreamy, man. See, when you write a book about politics, you cannot just say, this corruption is all done in one day. You cannot write that. It is not feasible and possible.
Not possible.
But you should look towards it. You should go towards it. But you cannot do it in one day. You understand what I'm saying? So now what happens is, we people, we just say, we just want, I'm just going off guard and I'll come back again. As a leader, we'll all have experienced this. We go give them a target to achieve. We'll never tell them how to do it. So in my industry, I'll say, okay, my team has to do 20 crores per month. I'll yell at my people. I have seen a lot of leaders who are yelling at people, saying, you have a target of 20 crores. Why did you not do? You have done only 5 crores. You have done only 2 crores. Then I used to ask them, have you ever told them how to do the 20 crores?
Correct.
So we all tell we need a good country, but we'll never tell what to do, what we should do as a person, what we should do as citizens to make it there, right? So I think the book which I'm working on, I think that would become my 3rd book. I think that will get released in the first week of Jan or Feb. And I'm reasoning it out with my book. I'm asking myself a lot of questions. Ask people what we should do to become a good politician. Everybody are politicians only. Everybody are politically correct. Everybody are politicians. Yeah, everybody are politicians. I think, politics is one genre. Bluff master the Tanuj. Yeah, I think if at all I could write it, and if at all it is well received by the audience, I think that is a major success. That is what I'm looking for. Yeah.
Even I prefer stories with some elements of realism in them.
Yeah, there should be a takeaway, no? I mean, you are asking someone to read the book for 2 hours or 1 hour or 1 day. There should be one takeaway from the book. Yeah, I think if that is not there, I cannot write for the fun of it, man. There should be some takeaway in any book. Yeah.
Agreed. The next question I'm getting is, how do you get over a writer's block? I think we've already touched upon this a little bit. How do you get over a writer's block?
Yeah, see, you have to push. It is all there. I mean, see, I'll tell you precisely this. Okay, so once you storyboard it, say for example, chapter 2, you have already storyboarded. Okay. So chapter 2, there is this guy saying something is happening, but in chapter 2 you're not able to write ahead of it. Okay, you stop the chapter 2, you leave at that. If at all you had a storyboard, you can start writing chapter 3 because you know what you're going to write there. Correct. Or you can leave 2, 3, 4 if you like chapter 5 personally. So chapter 5 is your action block. Then you can go start writing chapter 5. Then you can come back. Correct. But if you do not have a storyboard, if you do not have chapter wise what you're going to write, if you do not chapter it, then it becomes difficult. That is where you get stopped.
Correct.
So now I get stopped. Now if at all I'm stopping, I'm not able to write, I'm not able to proceed further. I'll leave that chapter then and there. I'll go to chapter 5 or chapter 6 and start writing it. Because I know what to write there.
Correct. So over time, then, this will come to you. And
over time, then you go for a walk, then you cycle, then you exactly feel why it is not coming. Then again, you come back and write. It's as simple as that.
I think that's a very good idea.
You should plan, and the funda is to have chapter wise prose of what you're going to write. This idea you should have. Then it makes you flexible. You can write chapter 10, you come back. It's like shooting only. You can't shoot this. Then you go back and shoot something else and come back and shoot this. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and then you put it all together.
Yes.
Correct.
The reader would not know that you struggled in chapter 2 and chapter 5. No, obviously. It's all in your mind. And feel yourself as a writer first. It's all about the feeling which you have, man. It works. Believe me, it works. In 11th standard, I was thinking I should need a laptop. So I used to visualize a laptop. I used to invert my notebook. I used to, type on one page, and I used to recollect. I used to think that I'm having a laptop. And I got my laptop in first year. That's what I'm saying. So you have to visualize that you are an author. You have to visualize that you will become big. If at all you are not, I have written it in my acknowledgement also. If I don't believe that I'm an author, if I don't believe that my book would not sell, then there's no point. No, you should trust yourself first.
Correct.
So to answer Pallavi, who's asked that question? To answer her question, you have to you can go back, jump chapters also, no problem.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, another question that actually I had was there something that you edited out of this book?
No.
Any part of the story?
No. To be very frank with you, no. It is there.
Oh, I think we're about to overshoot the time limit of the live.
Oh, okay.
Okay. In that
We
case,
took a long time.
yeah. Okay, in that
Okay.
case, Praveen, thank you so much for your time. Thanks a lot for joining this.
Thank you, Manav.
And
Thank you. Thank you
yeah.
for all the people who have asked questions. Thank you, Manav.